Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football. Of course, that means I've got a voice, but you have a voice as well with your comments, suggestions, and your concerns. And also, of course, we bring in the voice of the best bloggers and broadcasters across the industry, including Drew Krinsky, who joins us from Trojan Insider. Drew, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. How are you, Mark?
Doing great. So, of course, you check out USC football practice on a regular basis. The last time we brought you in from the rain, hopefully you had better weather here in recent days. So it's that quarterback situation. So the last time we talked it up, you were looking at Matt Fink. Fink's looking better and decidedly better at that point. So has anything changed since then?
Yeah, so since then, they've kind of done more live drills. We've had scrimmages. They've been under pressure. And none of the quarterbacks really shined. There are times when Fink will throw the ball and he'll throw in a really tight window and it'll look great. And then the next three plays, like there's a play today, he was under pressure. He just stepped back and threw it as far up in the air as he could. Of course, they intercepted that. So I said earlier, it's like one step forward, three steps back for them. And then Jack Sears, there was a time today when he didn't even work with the ones. It's been Fink and Sears kind of doing the same thing. And then today, Fink worked with the ones, and then Sears kind of broke off and did more two work, which I thought was interesting. Just none of the quarterbacks are really that impressive right now.
So the more we talk about this and the more you see to what seem to be marginal quarterbacks, the more that I'm sure USC fans are thinking, okay, we can't wait till August gets here and JT Daniels.
Yeah, JT Daniels has been at the practices. He's been at the past, I'd say, three practices I've been to, and big elephant in the room right there. His presence, everyone's like, ooh, we want JT throwing the ball. I think he should have not an easy time, but I totally see him coming in there and just getting the job done.
So, Drew, since we haven't seen JT Daniels against this kind of competition, but we can see him obviously on the huddle videos and the other YouTube highlights, and can see the athleticism and the arm strength, though, what would be the significant difference between what we would expect out of him, even with that inexperience factor, versus the two quarterbacks in play right now?
Well, JT Daniels has an NFL mind. He makes the right pass every time. If you look at his highlights, he's seeing things that nobody else can see. He's just so smart. And he is not going to look like a freshman when he comes in, or not going to look like what should be a senior in high school when he comes in. He's going to look like an NFL quarterback.
Talking up some USC football, we got Drew Krinsky on the line. Please join him at Trojan Insider. He joins us on a regular basis to break down USC football. Of course, the Trojans in the middle of spring practice trying to get themselves a quarterback. And the other issue that they've had in recent years that's probably separated the elite teams from where USC has placed the past couple of seasons has been the offensive line as well. And just not being able to handle the likes of an Ohio State in the Cotton Bowl, that being one prime example. So your thoughts about the offensive line and what you're going to need to see in the spring game that's going to make you feel better about the unit that's got to protect whoever wins that quarterback job.
Yeah, so on the scrimmage on Saturday, I thought the offensive line kind of took a step back. I thought they were better than last year originally. And they still have, Austin Jackson, he's in the competition to play right now. He's looking really good. Super physical. But they're still getting beat. Obviously, Porter Gustin on the edge is going to be hard for anybody. But they're getting beat, and the quarterbacks are under a lot of pressure, which doesn't help the quarterback's case right now. But they are under a lot of pressure, and obviously that's not what the offensive line should be doing. They're getting beat by Hunter Echols. They're getting beat by a bunch of guys.
So, yeah, anytime any of these teams are lining up against itself, it's difficult to evaluate, especially along the offensive and defensive lines, because you don't know how good the other side is. But the USC defensive front being pretty prime in the last few years, as opposed to the offensive front, I'm sure has won most of those battles when the two get together. But looking at the entire defense, what are your high points? What you've seen thus far? What are your concerns?
The defensive backs have had a field day this entire spring. A lot of interceptions. Everyone's really showing up. You have a Jane Harris. Biggie's playing well. But the one guy who was out last year with injuries, he had a big hip injury, he had to have surgery. Jonathan Lockett. and now I think he's looking like maybe the best player this spring. I think he had 2 picks today, had a pick in the scrimmage Saturday. He's really dominating out there. Another guy, a freshman, Talanoa Hufanga, is he's making a big impact. Also, Jay Tefele on the defensive line is kind of playing that Rasheem Green spot, putting the quarterback under a lot of pressure. He had a pick 6 today off a tip pass. Good to see the big man running.
All right, talking up USC football, we do it each and every time with Drew Krinsky from Trojan Insider. Of course, subscribe to my YouTube channel for the very best in college football coverage coast to coast. The audio versions you can find as well on Google Play, iTunes, Stitcher, and Podbean. So, Drew, of course, this is the current team, and of course, we're still a long ways away from that first week of football, and we're a long ways away from that 2019 class, but people cannot get enough of recruiting, so they want to know the latest in regards to 2019's targets.
Yeah, so actually we have our recruiting expert in the building right now, Scott Schrader. He's here to talk about recruiting, so just give him a minute to come over here.
All right, we'll get Scott on the line. Good stuff.
Scott is working. He's the publisher, so he gets to do all the fun stuff, and I get to do the work.
Hey, Scott, how you doing?
I'm fantastic. Thank you.
Appreciate you taking the time.
I'll be looking at my phone probably periodically, trying to do some stuff, but we'll get some good information to you.
All right, good stuff. I'll set you up one more time if that's okay.
All right.
All right, talking USC football and going to the 2019 football class with Scott Schrader from Trojan Insider, who runs the entire outfit there. So, Scott, we appreciate you jumping on board and setting us up with this 2019 class and Clay Helton's progress thus far.
The progress that Clay Helton has made, it's actually started when he took over as the head coach at USC, and what he's done, the environment at USC is to the point now to where I've seen collectively a group of Southern California prospects, possibly West Coast prospects, who want to go to USC as much as these guys do. So they're kind of at the point right now to where they're probably going to get just about everybody they want, barring the depth chart issues and stuff like that. So they're in a really, really strong position, and it's because of him. It's because of their recruiting staff and the other coaches. But in the end, it comes down to Clay Helton, and the family atmosphere that he promotes is not only important to the kids, it's important to their parents. So, you know, there's recruiting the kids, and then there's recruiting the parents, especially mom.
So, Scott, the talent won't be an issue, but if you look at the roster top to bottom, are there rough spots in regards to positional depth? Are there big needs that they really need to address? Yeah,
they need, this year, of all the positions I can think of, they need running backs, and they probably need 3 running backs in this recruiting class. You know, right now you have Stephen Carr, who's going to be a sophomore, and he's not practicing right now. So you have him. You have Wabai Malapegi, who is going to be a junior running back, and then you have Sedware, who's a senior. And Marquise Stepp will be coming in from Indianapolis, and he'll be a freshman. So they're going to lose some guys over the next few years, and so right now they're in a pretty good position with Sean Dollars from Mater Dei. I would be surprised if he does not end up at USC. And there's another running back, and I had an issue here remembering what school he goes to, but anyway, he's from Los Angeles. His name's Jordan Wilmore, and they just love him. He's a smaller back in height, but he's very strong, and he's pretty bulky. So he's actually somebody I haven't seen in person, but I can tell you USC loves him, and he loves USC. Could be a guy that commits soon. And then after that, I'm not really sure. They're going to have a running back who's coming in from Northern California for a visit. Saturday, maybe tomorrow or Saturday, Austin Jones from Bishop O'Dowd High School. There's a couple guys on the team from that same school. Elijah Vera Tucker, offensive tackle, and Jay Godfrey, a cornerback here at SC. So those could be the 3 running backs. I'm not sure. There's other guys they're going after from out of state. So that stuff kind of gets played out going forward between the May evaluation period and June.
All right, folks, we encourage you to join Scott and Drew at Trojan Insider for the very best in USC football coverage. Scott, Drew, we appreciate you stopping by and catching us up on USC football.
Thank you.
You got it. Thank you.